Is the thought of your school presentation making your stomach hurt, your heart pound? Are you feeling like it's hard to breathe or hard to take a deep enough breath? Please know that you're definitely not alone. I'm a psychologist who's helped countless teens and college students deal with the anxiety that they have before a presentation. And I've helped them go from presentation panic to calm and confident and in control. In this video, I'm going to share my top 5 simple, actionable tips to help you do the same. So the first tip is to recognize how your body is feeling. And what are you noticing about what's going on in your body? Your body is telling you that you're about to do something important. What are you noticing about that? Are you noticing, again, like I said, that your heart is pounding? Are your hands sweaty? Do you feel like you have butterflies in your stomach or a bowling ball in your stomach or tension in your arms, or you have a headache? It can be different for each of us, but recognizing this is powerful because that awareness alone helps you to slow down a little bit into your experience rather than going really fast and overthinking. Getting more in touch with your body can take you out of your head, out of your thoughts, help you settle a little bit more into how your body is telling you that you are about to do something important. If you like to do breathing techniques or you find it helpful to do something like go for a walk, by all means, do use those coping tools. And I have a lot of videos on this channel that you can find those coping tools as well. But for the most part here, we just want you to start by getting in touch with what's happening in your body. The second tip is to become aware of your self-talk. What are you telling yourself about this presentation? Really reflect on that. And a lot of the time you might think, I'm not telling myself anything, but we all have assumptions, even if we're not really truly aware of them. And so that's what we're doing here. What language are you speaking out loud? That's a clue to what you're telling yourself. And if you're not saying anything out loud, what would you write in a journal about this presentation coming up? If you were to write anything, that's going to show you what you're thinking. So an example is sometimes before a presentation, people are thinking, I'm going to die. And that's a thought. That is self-talk. So with whatever thought you're having, with whatever self-talk you're having, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Is this thought accurate? And is this thought helpful? In the case of I'm going to die, probably not accurate that the presentation is going to kill me, even if I feel that way. Objectively, rationally, the presentation itself is not going to lead to my death, even though I feel terrible. Is it helpful to tell myself I'm gonna die? Probably not. So ask yourself those 2 questions, evaluate the thought that you're having, and then try to interpret the situation in a different way. Try to find a thought that is more accurate as well as more helpful. So an example thought would be, I've presented before and I can do it again. Another helpful and accurate thought would be, people are probably going to be in their own worlds. And what that means is that the people you are presenting in front of are probably in their own heads. Most of us are. And they're not actually as hyper-focused on you as you might feel like they are. And we'll get to that in a little bit more as well. So tip number 3 is to visualize yourself being confident and successful at this presentation. I want you to get somewhere where you can be by yourself, have some privacy, close your eyes, and you are going to imagine the scenario where this presentation is going to happen. So imagine the setting. Maybe it's a classroom, maybe it's a conference room. You're going to imagine yourself being called upon to present. It's your turn. You're going to see all of this in vivid color in your mind. You're going to see yourself getting up there, starting with your first slide. You're going to watch yourself look confidently around the room. You're going to see yourself have a positive, assertive, confident body posture and nonverbals, smiling at people, confidently introducing your presentation. You're going to watch yourself go to your next slide, you can actually visualize yourself giving a successful, confident presentation, and you're gonna actually just run through the whole thing. And if your presentation is like an hour long, like you don't really have to run through the whole thing, but give yourself a good chunk of time where you're visualizing and do it over and over and over again. And the secret power of this is that our brain actually has a hard time telling the difference between what we're imagining our body doing and what our body is actually doing. So when you visualize yourself giving a successful, confident presentation, your brain actually feels like you're doing it. And that's very powerful in terms of preparing yourself to carry out the actions that you imagined. That's visualization for you. Tip number 4, similarly, is to actually practice your presentation. And this is called exposure practice. You are exposing yourself to the situation that you fear. Start small. You can practice in front of a few stuffed animals, maybe present one slide to them. And then once you present one slide to them, you're gonna practice again and you're gonna present a few slides to them. And then maybe you do your whole presentation in front of these stuffed animals. And then you're gonna pick one friendly roommate or friend or family member. You're going to present, let's say, a few slides in front of them. And then you're gonna present more slides in front of them. And maybe if you have time, you even present all of your slides in front of them. And I'm assuming you have slides. I don't know if you have slides, but whatever it looks like for you, the idea here is to start small with your practice and then build upon that and expand your practice so it looks more and more similar to what you're actually gonna have to do in your presentation. And as you do this, you will build confidence. By the way, as you're doing this practice of your presentation, don't try to word for word memorize your presentation or script exactly what you're gonna say. You need to actually practice trusting yourself to think on your feet and to speak naturally in the moment, because that's gonna give you confidence that you can think on your feet and speak naturally in the moment as you're presenting. Tip number 5 is to accept that you can feel the fear and do it anyway. So this is an acceptance piece. The goal here is not to have your anxiety go down to 0, because if your anxiety was 0, that might actually mean that you don't care enough to do your presentation. Like you would be, I don't know, profoundly relaxed and profoundly bored, and you wouldn't care enough to try to do a good job on your presentation. So the tips that we've talked about in this video can lower your anxiety, and at the same time, it's important to recognize that some minor to moderate level of anxiety is normal and even helpful for a presentation. And the helpful part is that we do kind of need to be alert, right? We need to be ready to respond in the moment when we're presenting. And I kind of hate to say it, but anxiety, a little bit, a touch of anxiety can help us do that. If you're struggling with anxiety and you want your parents to understand your anxiety better, please share the link for my free anxiety training with them. It's down in the pinned comment and in the description below. They'll learn 3 keys for helping you with anxiety, and they'll also learn more about my signature anxiety program, which is designed to help you move forward with your education and your friendships without missing out, without having to wait, without being held back by the mental health system itself. And you can do that in a way that is totally online and self-paced, without any appointments or scheduling or Zoom calls or any of that. So check out that training. It's like an introductory video, and of course you're also welcome to watch that training as well. Hope to see you there.